welcome to Freshly Served, the healthy vegan cooking show. I'm Heather, and tonight we're going to make a dish with tomatoes and peas. Now I'm doing this in the winter, so I'm using canned tomatoes and frozen peas. Not my favorite thing to do, but when it's winter you do what you gotta do. This is an equally lovely dish. Actually, it's probably better in the summer. You can use fresh tomatoes, fresh peas from the garden, and you don't even have to cook it. But since I'm using canned tomatoes, I'm going to cook this. If you did it with raw tomatoes, you would want to let it sit and have the seasonings marinate into the vegetables. Now I've got some rice cooking on the back because I'm going to serve this over rice. Serve it over whatever you like. Don't get paper from your can into your tomatoes. In the summer, this is really nice over some let's see, fresh grated zucchini or some sprouted quinoa, something like that. So you get your tomatoes into the pot, and I have whole tomatoes here, so I'm gonna break them up just with a spoon. Diced tomatoes are probably my favorite, but they don't have any good organic diced tomatoes at the store across the street from me. So I wind up with the whole ones, but they're kind of fun. You get a nice mouthful of tomato. Okay, so those are in there. I've got the heat on, just a medium, and then I've got my peas here. I'm gonna throw those in as well. I'm using quite a lot of peas because I like them. You can also do this with corn if you like. I find nothing beats a good green pea, so I like to use them. Okay, so once those are stirred through, I'm gonna add the spices right now. And what I'm gonna put in here is some cumin. And I have put proportions on this recipe based on what I like, but you can change it if you like something more or if you like something less. All right, so cumin's in there, ground mustard's in there, a little bit of cayenne. I'm not into too much spice, but a little bit's nice. And that's what we're going for here. A little bit of a spicy tomato sauce. So some black pepper. I like black better than cayenne, so I put a bit more of that in. Oh, lid's breaking. Things are not going well today. Some oregano. And I put a fair bit of that in there. And some allspice to finish it off. Allspice, not just for baking. Some salt to bring all of these crazy flavors together. And I've got my salt shaker today that has some salt crystals and dried kelp so that it brings some extra nutrients into my sea salt and also reduces the amount of salt I use because the kelp tastes pretty salty too, seeing as it grows in the ocean. So stir all those spices in there. And then you're gonna let it simmer for, I don't know, 20 minutes. It's not a huge deal because because I'm using canned tomatoes today. They don't need to cook. They just need to have the flavors combine. And cooking speeds that process up, but it's not necessary. So you can also just marinate this. And if you're using fresh tomatoes and fresh peas, that's what I would do so that you don't cook the vegetables. And you can just marinate them at room temperature or in the fridge. I would probably give it about an hour to marinate to come together. But cooking 10-20 minutes and you're good to go. While that's simmering away, you can chop up some fresh herbs if you can find some. I got my hands on a little bit of fresh parsley that was sticking up in my garden. And then I'm going to zest and juice this lemon. Zesting just takes off the very outer part of the skin of the citrus fruits. So delicious. Once you've gotten that off, you then cut your lemon in half and squeeze out the juice. And what I do is I just take a little bowl with a strainer, stick something in here, and I use my zester most of the time. Fork works as well. Just give it some pokes and squeeze all of that beautiful juice out. All right, I'm gonna throw this into my tomato sauce. And this is a pretty nice tomato sauce for a lot of different purposes. You could put it on pasta. I'm just gonna serve it over some rice, just to show you that you can do something different with it. Get the lemon juice in there as well, and that's gonna really freshen this sauce up. Stir it around. We're adding the fresh herbs at the end because otherwise they will get very limp and their flavor doesn't hold up very well to heat. As well as the fact that they have a lot of nutrients in them, and if we cook them to death, those nutrients will get lost. So add them right at the end for maximum flavor, maximum nutrition. A lot of people don't think of herbs as having nutrition because they're so small and you don't use very much, but they've got a lot in there, especially parsley. Excellent amount of antioxidants. Okay, so once that has finished simmering, give it a taste. Make sure it tastes okay. Best thing to do for tasting is have a separate spoon so you don't get your saliva into the food, which is bad not only for sanitation, but because your enzymes in your saliva start to break down the food, and just not the best. See if it needs anything more. Maybe all I need is a bit more black pepper. Alright, so like I said, I've got rice here. You can use pasta if you like. I like to use whole grains whenever I can rather than a noodle because the grains to make the noodles will have been broken down, and anytime you break down a food, it starts to lose its nutrition. So whole grains are the best source of the nutrition. Even if you're using whole grain noodles, a whole grain in its whole state is a little bit better. Now, there you go. Some lovely tomato and green pea sauce over rice. Hope you enjoy. You can find the recipe at healthyveganrecipes.net. I'm Heather, and this is Freshly Served.